I'm going to call this message today, Don't Mess With Me. When the voice comes and say nothing's going to change, don't mess with me. When the word comes, you believed a lie most of your life. Don't mess with me. When that voice comes and says, all those prayers that you prayed, all those things that you believed me for, they've not gotten answered, then you just look it in the face and you say, don't mess with me. So here we go. Today's January the 17th, 2021. 1/17/21. We talked about it last week. 1 means winner. If you're number 1, you win. You're the winner. Number 1, winner. Number 17 means time to triumph. We are in a time to triumph today. It means overcoming the enemy. It means complete victory. 21 means great potential. So let's do the math. 20 plus 1 is 21. 20 is moving from potential to actual, from potential to manifestation, from seed to plant to tree to cucumber to flower, and then we have winner. So 21 is moving from the potential to winning. 21 also means 3 sevens. Check it out. 7 means fullness. It means awakening. It means wisdom. And I just found out this week that 7 means determination. I like that right there. I'm determined. Don't mess with me. I'm awake. Don't mess with me. I have wisdom. Don't mess with me. Let's go back to 17. Time to triumph. Time to conquer. Time to defeat. Time to overcome. Time to overwhelm. It's time to do that. It's time to conquer fear. It's time to defeat discouragement. It's time to overcome sickness. It's time to overwhelm lies used against you. It's time, say it, don't mess with me. In order to triumph, we've got to have a victory or a winner's attitude. We got to quickly adjust to whatever adversity comes our way. We've got to learn how to be cunning. We've got to learn how to be creative. And we've got to learn that the only option is to win. Listen, I understand the world is changing, culture's changing, lots of uncertainty and stress and anxiety and all of that, but I want to say in the face of all that, don't mess with me. I choose the direction of this pivotal season that we're in. Circumstances don't choose. Politics doesn't choose. Culture doesn't choose. I'm not a prisoner all that. In Zechariah 9 it says that I am a prisoner of hope. I return to the stronghold of security and prosperity, and God says when you return to that prisoner of hope, I'll restore double to you. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and Newsmax. Oh, no, wait a minute. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and Epic Times. Excuse me. No, I'm not saying to not be informed. Here's what I'm saying. Check heaven's news before man's news, because my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. That is the foundation for triumph. In order to triumph, though, there is a battle. There is a confrontation. There is a stand. There is a contest. There is a mountain. There is a river. I don't know what's on the other side of that mountain, but I'm going up. I don't know what's in that river, but I'm going to put my foot in it. Caleb said after he wandered around for 40 years, he said, right there is my promise. Give me my mountain. And he had to go in there and fight because it was the mountain of the greatest of giants. Joshua said, it's time to go over. The Jordan was at flood stage. It was very dangerous, but they stepped in and moved into their covenant land. What is the general direction of the movement in 2021? I mentioned Caleb. I mentioned Joshua. But let's just check out that one thing that Moses said. Moses said, you've been here long enough. Don't mess with me. You've been here long enough. Turn and take your journey and go in and possess the land that I gave you. He didn't go in and say, receive your promises. He said, go in, possess, take control of. It is time to triumph. Shout 17. That's what's trending in 2021. Don't mess with me. Now, I'll go to Deanne's favorite covenant book. No. I'm just going to go to the New Testament. There. I'm just going to go to the New Covenant. I'm going to go to the New Testament. And I'm going to go to Paul. And I just believe that when Paul got in this situation I'm going to mention today, I just believe he turned and he said, don't mess with me. So Paul in Acts chapter 27, he got on a ship as a prisoner, and he's going to Rome because he's going to be tried before Caesar as a religious fanatic. And even though Paul was a prisoner, he was respected, and he was asked about, shall we go on the voyage now? And he said, you know what? This voyage is going to be very dangerous, and this is a time of storms out on sea. So it would be better if we stayed here in this port, and we left later. But the centurion didn't believe Paul, and they sailed on. And I just had to say, you know, I've given advice. I've shared the truth. I've helped someone, and they sailed on. That's a Selah right there. Well, the storm came, just like Paul said, and it looked bad. And Paul said, don't mess with me. He said, you know what? You should have listened to me. You ought to read the Bible. You should have listened to me. It's sort of like that scripture that Deanne read about David. Get him, Lord. You should have listened to me, but here's what he said. It's going to be all right. Nobody's going to die. The ship is going to fall apart, but no lives are going to be lost. And he says, here's how I know. And I just want to say, here's how I know. He said, an angel. He's talking to these guys are in a storm. The boat is falling apart. Everybody doesn't know what to do. And he said, here's how I know. Don't mess with me. An angel came to me last night, and he said, you know what? Your destiny is to appear before Caesar. So all those that are with you, it is important who we align with. It is important who we walk with, because their destiny becomes your destiny. Those men on that boat got saved because the angel came and said, your destiny is to make it to Rome, and all of these will be safe with you. Therefore, sirs, he called them sir, get happy. He said, get happy, because I believe God that it will be even as it was told me. And he's telling this as the ship is sinking, and all of a sudden this prisoner becomes the commander of the ship. Don't mess with me. This is a big storm. The boat is falling apart. The ones that could swim jumped in. The ones that couldn't swim found a piece of the board, a piece of the ship, and went in, and they all made it. They all made it to the shore of an island called Malta. Now, here's the prophetic. The whole thing has been prophetic, but here's the prophetic part of this. Not the boat, not the storm, not the guys who didn't know what they were doing, but they finally did what Paul told them to do. Here's the prophetic part of this. They made it to the shore of an island called Malta. Malta was the home, Deanne, of a barbarous, liberal group of people. And the cabal, deep state. Let me just say it. Let me just get it out there. Now, Paul shows up there. Listen, don't even mess with me. Paul shows up on that island. This is a barbarous, liberal, deep state cabal people. And their DNA got changed because they were kind. They showed them kindness. They were cruel savages that killed people, that weren't like them. But they were kind. They were so kind that they gave them food. It's like they turn in to somebody else. Isn't that what we want to happen, really? We want people to be saved. We want them to turn into children and sons of God. We do. This barbarous people, cruel people that killed people that weren't like them, all of a sudden their DNA is changed and they turn into somebody else, and they're so kind and they're taking care of them and they're giving them food, and they make a fire for them. And here's what I like about this leader. Here's what I like about Paul. He just jumped in and helped him pick up sticks and get the firewood. He's just that's who I want to serve. That's who I want to walk with. Somebody who'll just get their hands dirty and just get out there and participate. And here is Paul. I mean, he's just saved everybody, and he decides he'll go help them pick up sticks. And then he does, and then a big snake jumps out, bites him on the hand, and he doesn't let go. Now, all of a sudden, in their culture, that was a sign that he was a murderer. And then they just said, well, no problem. He's just going to swell up and die. But he said, don't mess with me. He just shook off the snake. Sometimes I just feel like I don't want to make light of people's situations, but sometimes we just need to get by ourselves, and we need to say, don't mess with me, and shake that thing off. He shook off that big snake that had a hold of his hands, and then all of a sudden, they changed their minds. They changed their mind, and now they say he's a god. He's outlived the snake. And so the chief of the island invites Paul to come stay with him. And then all of a sudden, I tell you what, God is setting up things. God is setting up things for miracles. God, just don't get frustrated. Don't just say, don't mess with me. God is setting this up. So Paul, after he shakes the snake off, he's like, okay, you're like a god, and gets invited to the chief. And then all of a sudden, the chief's father gets deathly sick. And Paul heals him. Don't you just tell your neighbor, I'm going to heal some people. I'm going to get healed, and I'm going to heal some people. Don't mess with me. And so he's there. He gets the father healed, and then others come from all over. Shout, my blessings are on the way. Yeah. He had to get on that boat, go through that storm. The whole thing fell apart. They had to get to the island of a barbarous people. My blessings are on the way. It doesn't matter how you get there. My blessings are on the way. I'm just going to keep on moving. I'm going to keep on going. Even if somebody else's decision gets me I'm just going to keep on. My blessings are on the way. And so all the people find out that Paul heals the king's dad. And so everybody that's sick all over the island comes to, and they all get healed. That's what it says in the King James. They all got healed. Then the island came together. Oh, I love this. Don't mess with me. All the island came together, and they honored Paul and the people. They honored them, it says, with great honors. And they, their ship was destroyed. And so they gave them a ship. And not only did they give them a ship, they packed it with all the food and all the supplies that they would need for the rest of their trip. They had everything they needed for the rest of their trip. So what's trending in this 2021 season that we're in? Triumph is trending. Destiny is trending. Safety is trending. Every need met is trending. Stand to your feet and get your bell going. Say this with me. My faith is strong. My hope is secure. My mind is clear. My soul blesses the Lord. My blessings are on the way. And in the meantime, don't mess with me. Put your hands together and thank God.